So this Oracle Cloud is basically a free tier where we can, sign up and use the Oracle for uh, 30 day. We get the 30-day free trial. We get $300 free credit if we sign up, and you can use some of the resources like 5 terabyte of storage and some of the processing RAM and everything. So yeah, you need to log into the Oracle free tier, and let me go ahead and do that now. Let me sign up. So I am putting it as my country in your country, my current country here, but you need to put it as India here. Okay, so company is optional. You don't need to put it. I'll put it as BHL RPL and bhlrpl at gmail.com. So here all you will have your all personal details here. Um, I'm putting it as BHLRPL, but you need to put your first name, last name, and your email ID, right? Then you need to enter password. Sai
Sir, this
Krishna,
will
can you confirm if you have started the recording?
Yes, I did, Ravi.
Okay.
sir, this will be free for only 30 days, sir.
Yeah, the $300 free credit will be valid for 30 days. After that, also it will be available, but you will have very limited access.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so you need to put your country. Company name is optional. You need to put your first name, last name, and your email ID, password. Your password has some limitations. And then we have the cloud name. So you need to take down this, you need to remember this cloud name, and you need to remember the password. This is my cloud name. And also you need to remember the password which you have given here. So here the home region, it says, for me, it says US East, but there should be some like India's Hyderabad, I guess. So yes, India South Hyderabad. So you can choose either India South Hyderabad or India West Mumbai. Okay. So I will then go ahead and click on continue. And then I need to give my address here. So you need to put your address here. Then put your phone number. It will basically send a verification code. All these validations are just, they want to check whether it is a valid user or is it some kind of robo or something. So they do these prerequisite checks just to verify if the user is a real user or is some robo or a computer that is trying to sign up. So we need to fulfill these prerequisites. We need to complete these prerequisites before we actually get on to the cloud space. So the other thing is here we need to, it will ask for payment verification, it doesn't charge us anything, but in order to get that free $300 credit and the free tier that we get. So we need to add the payment verification method. So which basically means I need to add my credit card in order to authenticate my account. So they usually they don't charge you anything. They don't charge you any money. Absolutely, they won't charge anything. So you don't need to worry about that. Uh, so I will go ahead and put my credit card here. So you all need to put your credit card if you want to use this cloud infrastructure provided by Oracle. So as far as I understand, there is no risk in applying your credit card information in order to get it. They will charge like 1 rupee and they will refund that back immediately. So that this is just for authentication of the users in order to get onto the cloud. Even it would be same for cloud, AWS or Azure or Oracle or IBM DB2 or any of the cloud environments. This step is something which all the companies follow. So I'll now go ahead and add my verification method here.
Mm.
So I'm going to briefly a quick stop sharing my screen because I don't want because this our credit card information is confidential. Even you should not be sharing your credit card information with anyone. So I'm gonna stop share and I'll update my credit card details and everything and I'll click on finish. Okay. So I'll briefly stop sharing my screen and I'll share in a minute.
ನಿಜಮಲ್ಲೇ ಕಕ್ಕ ಬರ್ತೆ.
Can you mute yourself? I don't know.
Sairam, all the mentors that are in the class now, could you please uh, prefix mentor before or after your name?
Okay, so I came back and I entered my credit card details and I've clicked on finish. So this is what it shows, Oracle free hire. It says thank you. So that means my credit card transaction has been successfully updated and it has accepted it. So I'll click on close now and I'll click on agree and I'll click on start my free trial. So basically you just go to Google Oracle free tier and you can click on this link and that will take you to the sign up page where you need to sign up. All right. So, okay, it says it takes 15 minutes, but I already have another cloud account. So I'm gonna use that account because I don't want to wait 15 minutes. I will go ahead and use my other cloud account, which I already have. So this is the first step. You need to sign up for it, and then you'll have some credentials, and the whatever credentials you have entered, you need to log into the cloud now. So I'm logging into my cloud environment.
Are you sure that this won't charge us once the free trial ends?
See, it will ask you whether you need to upgrade. If you upgrade, then only it will charge you. If not, it's not going to charge you.
Okay.
So here you need to enter your username and password, which you have given at the time of sign up. Okay, so my credentials have been successfully authenticated, and this is the console, the main homepage of the Oracle Cloud. So whenever you want to go to homepage, you just click on this thing. Here's Oracle Cloud. So I've created this sometime back. So it says your free trial has ended. You can continue to use always free resources, which means my free trial has ended. Even though I added my credit card, it is not charging me anything because I'm not using any paid services. I'm using only free trial. It says you can still continue to use always free resources, right? Unless you upgrade, other resources will be removed, which might result in data loss. So until unless you upgrade, you will not be charged anything. So you need to always use the free resources that are available in the cloud. Okay. So now I'll go ahead and create a database now. So we have something here like autonomous data warehouse, autonomous transaction processing. So for this, you need to click on the left top corner. So here you have something called like this hamburger here, where you need to click on the left top corner and click on autonomous data warehouse. So data warehouse is basically a massive, huge database which can hold a huge amount of data, whereas autonomous transactional processing is more like a day-to-day transaction processing database. So for example of an autonomous transaction processing is more like a credit card or bank, right? Where it holds like user account information. So in the if you are saying bank, like daily, like millions of users will be making transactions every day, right? So it's more like a day-to-day transactional database. Coming to autonomous data warehouse. So what are the examples of autonomous data warehouse? So autonomous data warehouse is more like some historical reporting environments, like let's say Indian population, census, like let's say Indian population census. So in the Indian population census, Indian government will usually take census maybe once in 5 years or once in 10 years, right? So they're going to collect each and everyone. They go to each and everyone's house and they collect the data, and they will put that data in the data warehouse. So it's like one-time activity, right? But the data is it contains all the historic data, like the past 100 years or past 200 years. They will see like, okay, what is the rate of population that is being increased in India. So after 100 years back, Indian population could be around maybe 50 crores or whatever. but today it is like 120 crores or 130 crores, something like that. So how are you knowing this? It's all because of these historic data, right? Somewhere the data is the census data is stored, and you can see state wise, okay, how much population is there in this state, how much population is in different states. So it's all historic data, right? So it's not something day which is updated day to day. The census data is being collected maybe once in a year or once in 5 years or whatever. So yeah, that's the difference between data warehouse and transactional processing. So data warehouse is more for a reporting database. Transactional processing is more like day-to-day transactions, inserts, update, deletes. Whereas autonomous database is more like a insert and select. That's it. There are no updates and deletes in data warehouse. So I'll go ahead and create an autonomous data warehouse now for our demonstration. So here you have an option called as create autonomous data warehouse. So I already have something here, but I'll just delete this, go and I'll terminate it. Terminate autonomous, okay. I'll create a different, freshly new one, create autonomous database. And I'll put display name as RPL 2020 and database name also RPL 2020. And here I get to choose like what kind of database type I want. Is it data warehouse or transactional processing or JSON? JSON is something like it's a non-structured, non-SQL data. So it's more like a object-oriented input data that is being inserted in the database. Since this is a free tier, we don't have this JSON capabilities available. It's just that we have only these two options. So I'm going to choose data warehouse, and it will ask, is it you want to run it on a shared infrastructure or a dedicated infrastructure? Dedicated is disabled because it comes with some cost where they will build your database within a dedicated infrastructure. That means you will have your own server, you will have your own memory, RAM, everything, processors, cores, everything. You will have dedicated things. So shared is more like you will be sharing it with multiple people. Uh, like let's say you are living in an apartment. Okay, the apartment, there will be like tens or 20 flats in that apartment, right? So you're basically sharing that area of land with multiple people by building one single house on one top of the other. But whereas if it is a independent house, so you will have your own backyard, you will have your own front parking space, you will have your own uh, garden, you'll have everything for your own, right? So it's more like that, like shared and dedicated. So that's the difference. And here you see something like always free, right? So this need to be enabled. So if I disable this, then it will ask me your account is limited to free always. To access all autonomous database, I need to upgrade. So I don't want to upgrade because if I upgrade, it will charge my credit card. So I always check always free. Okay. So I do, this is very important. You need to always enable this so you will not be charged anything. Okay. So this is the database version that is going to be installing in our cloud. So, and here you can see the CPU count that we can get for free. Always free autonomous database can utilize up to 1 core, the CPU core. So 1 core is usually like somewhere around 1 GB to 15 GB RAM. That's what Oracle claims, that they will be giving like up to 15 gig of RAM for one OCPU count. And storage, you're getting 0.02 terabyte. That means 20 GB of data is they're giving us for free. That means you can upload 20 gigabytes of data onto your cloud space. Okay. And here it's something says auto scaling. Auto scaling is disabled. What does it auto scaling means? Auto scaling means um, auto grow. It grows automatically. Like let's say you have 20 GB space here, right? Let's say you consumed all your 20 GB space. If you check this box, it will automatically grow that. If you're adding new data into your database, it will automatically grow by itself. Like let's say you consume 20 GB, tomorrow you are going to add another 1 GB. So it will automatically go on increasing, incrementing your database size. That's about auto scaling. Since I'm on a free version, free tier, I don't have this enabled. So I'll leave it there. I don't want to go for auto scale and I don't want to upgrade it. So here it says create an administrator credentials. Here you need to, admin is the account name. You need to assign a password here.
Excuse me, sir. I have a doubt, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Actually, we will be storing the data in data centers for normally. So how the data is stored in the cloud, sir? Like we will be don't having any data centers now, sir. How the data is stored in the cloud?
Data centers are maintained by Oracle. If you remember, we selected some region, right? India South, it says Hyderabad, India South, Mumbai, US East, US
Yes, sir.
West, and
Yeah,
all.
yeah.
So that means data centers are actually located in those regions. You see here, it says US East. So my data center is located in this region and all my data is stored in that data center. So if let's say if I'm inserting some data through this cloud console over the network, the data is transferred from your client to that server where these data centers are operating or where these servers are located. For me,
O-
this is my location. So the data is transferred over the network. Okay.
Okay,
So
sir.
it's the beauty of this cloud. And it says this VPN is more like from the network perspective. So it's basically the network access. And here we have something like choose the license type, whether it's a bring your own license or license included. So what is this bring your own license? So we have something like let's say you already in companies, or most of the companies are already using Oracle database on premises, right? When I say on premises, it's like having a physical server and having your physical RAM, memory, everything, and they're running these Oracle databases. So they might have already purchased the licenses from Oracle, right? So if you already own a license, you can choose bring your own license and you need to enter your license number or something. So that's how this works. If you don't have a license, then you can go and choose license included. Since I'm on a free tier, this 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 option is disabled with me. And also anyways, I don't have any existing license with me, so I don't need to worry about this. I'll just go and select this default license included, which means the license is already included within this um, cloud free tier usage. So I'll now go ahead and create. There are some more options here. This is more related with the metadata, but it's not uh, important. I mean, you don't need to worry much about that. I'll now go ahead and create autonomous database. So this database is going to get created within few minutes. So let's say if we don't have this cloud, we are all creating our environments in on-premises on a server. So it used to take a lot of time before. Like it used to take few days or few weeks because I need to buy a hardware. I need to hire a operating system administrator, that is Linux or Windows administrator. Then I need to go contact Oracle. I need to buy license from them. I need to wait for the response. They will give us license. And then I'll next hire a DBA. I need to ask the DBA to install that software. Once that software is installed, I need to buy the storage, RAM. I need to procure all that infrastructure. And then once my database is installed, by the time the database is installed, it used to take like anywhere between 1 week to 1 month. So with the advantage of cloud, I don't need any of these guys. I don't need operating system admin. I don't need to go contact Oracle for license. I don't need to wait for their response. I'll just go create it myself, and I just pay some money to Oracle, and I get all these things ready made. It's more like a ready made pizza. So like I guess most of you guys eat pizza, right? So it's just see the difference between cooking at home and ordering a pizza. So if you want to cook your food at home, what you will be doing? You need to go buy vegetables. You need to go everything like salt, um, chili powder, turmeric. You need to buy all of these things. You need to come home, cut your vegetables, you need to start cooking. You need gas, you need cylinder, or you need fire to cook. So if you see this, it says available now. So I just created database sometime back, and it is within few minutes the database is available. That means it is ready to use. Okay, coming back to our difference between an on-premises and cloud. So it's like you need to cook your own food. So if you want to cook your own food, there is a lot of efforts, lot of time, everything is involved, right? Because you need to cut your vegetables, you need to do cook, stand, cook, you need to know cooking, how to do the cooking. And by the time you eat your food, it will take like maybe few hours by the time you cook. Let's say we have some Domino's or Pizza Hut or something. What you will do? You will just call to that number, and you will order a pizza. Okay, you'll order directly. You will go check the menu. What do you want? You call them, and they will give you free delivery or whatever. They might charge you some money, and they will deliver the pizza to you within when 30 minutes or 40 minutes or whatever. So if you see the difference, it will take like, if you do your own cooking at home, it might take like 10 hours. But if you order the pizza from a Pizza Hut or a Domino's, you will get the pizza delivered to you within 30 minutes. You may paying some extra money here for Domino's or for Pizza Hut. The pizza cost may be like 700 or 800 or whatever. The price may be high, but here your efforts are less. You don't need to go buy everything, the pizza dough or cheese or vegetables on the pizza, or you don't need to go to shop and buy everything. It's everything ready made and it's delivered to you at your home, right? So that's the difference between having a cloud environment and having a on premises. So don't try to implement this example in real life. Eating pizza is not good. So I'm not encouraging you to eat pizza with this example. So yeah. So now, since my database is created here, I'll just go back to my autonomous databases. So I'll see what all databases are available here. It will give you all the list of databases that are present here. Okay, so this I have terminated it sometime back, right? So it says terminated, and this is the new one which I created. It says always free. That means I'll not be charged anything. So now I'll click on this, and then I'll go to the tools, and there's something called as SQL Developer Web. Okay, so basically in the past we have the SQL Developer tool which we used to download from the Oracle site, install on your machine. But with the beauty of the cloud is this is also available for us ready made on the web console. So I'll just go and click on this SQL Developer Web, where you can, SQL Developer will help you to run your SQL statements, select statements, inserts, updates, deletes, and all of those things. So while creating the database, you have given your admin username and password, right? So you need to enter those details here. So I've entered my admin username and admin password, and I got into the console now. Okay, some of them have asked whether they want to do that simultaneously with me. You can do it, or if you can just take notes and after the class, you can in the lab session you can do it. So just try to focus on class now, and during the lab you can try the same. You can repeat what I've done. You can take some notes and you can do it in your lab. Okay. And someone has asked me, without credit card, can we sign up? I don't think we can sign up without a credit card. So I think it's something mandatory. At least in US, it is mandatory, but I need to do some research on India. I think even in India, it's same. They'll ask you for credit or debit card. That's mandatory. So yeah, we'll now proceed with our lab. So here,
Hey,
yeah,
I did simultaneously with you, and 74 rupees has been debited from my account.
what?
74 rupees has been deducted from my account.
24. Okay, I
74.
think it's $1, right? So $1 is like
Yeah.
74 rupees. So yeah, so you'll get that back. You'll get back that money refunded maybe 1 2 days. If not, like you can contact, like there is a chat option on Oracle Cloud where, here if you see this chat thing, you can just
Okay.
ask your question. Like you can start a chat and you can tell them that my refund has not been yet made.
Okay.
So usually it won't be the case because Oracle is a very big company. They don't do such silly things like just for $1 or something like that. So you don't need to worry about it. You'll definitely get back your refund. Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, we'll now go ahead and do our practice. Um, Yeah, yesterday we were talking about DDLs, DMLs, right? I said those are very important. So can someone unmute themselves and tell me what all do we have in DDLs?
Create, alter, drop, rename, truncate.
Okay, so who's this?
So this is Vijay Narayana.
Okay,
So
very good.
Z064.
In
Okay, very good.
DML, insert, update, delete,
I think drop
data
is missed.
manipulation language. Insert, update, delete.
Okay, very good.
This is Z021.
Okay, great.
Drop is missed in DDL.
Rename and truncate also.
Okay, very good. Okay, so now we'll see the practicals on how we do this. How do we actually create labels and what are these, how do we implement this practically? So I'm
Sir, I
going
have
to,
a doubt. Sir, I have a doubt on TCL and DCL, sir. In revoke and grant revoke, I didn't get yesterday. How they are used?
yeah, we will go through one by one. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so the syntax of, okay, one more thing. So I've shared that yesterday's presentation with all your mentors. So you need to contact all your mentors and get that material, whatever we have discussed yesterday, that you need to, go and you need to contact your mentor and get that material to you. So, all right. And now we'll go ahead and create the table. Okay. So I have already, I'll share you this document to you so that you can directly copy these commands. You don't need to type it again. I'll just put it here. Okay, this is creation of user. You don't need that. Okay, so I'm going and creating a table. Okay, I'll create my own table. I don't want to copy that. So I'm creating a table called student name. And so yesterday I was talking about data types, right? So what exactly a data type is? Data type is
Barker 2, sir.
okay.
Vargas, sir.
Okay.
Barker 2.
Okay.
Back care of 25.
Yeah. Just hold off. So data type is something, where you define your data, what kind of data you're going to uh, have there in for that column, right? So student name it could be like alphabets, right? Student name is like kind of alphabet, like A, B, C, D. Our names are all made up of A, B, C, D. It's not that our name have numbers or something like that. Until unless like Elon Musk's son has some weird names with characters and alphabets, but most of our names are with uh, characters, right? So I can either put character, just a character, or I can use data type of varchar. So what's the difference between char and varchar? So char is just the characters, it only accepts the characters, whereas varchar is more like a variable character. So it accepts both numbers and characters. Okay. So character only accepts alphabets, whereas varchar will accept both numbers and characters. Okay, so that's the basic difference. So I'm gonna put can just put character, or also I can put varchar too. Okay, and I will give some I'll allocate some size here. So I'll put 50. Okay, that means it can accept up to 50 characters, right? So 50 is like basically 50 bytes. So it can accept 50 bytes. So let's say if someone's name is more than 50 characters or 50 alphabets, it is going to throw an error that this allocated space is only 50 bytes. You cannot add any more characters into that column. So if someone's name is very long, so either you should contact your DBA and get this increased from 50 to 100, or you should cut down your name of that person and keep it short and simple. Okay, then I'm gonna put student ID. But student ID could be like a mix of numbers and characters, right? Like just like JNPU's student ID. My student ID was something like 05J21A0536. So
Sir, we
this
will
was
be
my.
sir, we will be using varchar, but two why, sir? Varchar two. Two why is required, sir?
So there is a varchar and varchar 2. There are two types of data types. So varchar is like fixed memory allocation.
Okay.
This is like a dynamic memory allocation.
Okay, okay, sir.
Fixed memory allocation is something like, let's say I have allocated 100 bytes here. That means 100 bytes will be allocated for this column, irrespective of its usage. Let's say if I use varchar 2, it's all dynamic allocation. So someone is using annotate, so don't do that. Someone is putting it on screen. Yeah. So varchar 2 is the dynamic memory allocation. That means, let's say if student name is Ravi, like RAVI, right? So I'm using only, my name has only 4 characters or 4 alphabets. That means I would use only 4 bytes of memory in the database. So if my name is something else, then it's going, let's say I have another 3 characters in my name. It would be seven bytes, right? So it will only use the memory based on the requirement. It does not allocates and keeps whether it's used or not. So that's the difference between varchar and varchar 2. So like I
Okay, sir.
said, student ID, I'm gonna put again 10. I'll give size of 10. And what else? Student phone. Okay, I'll just put phone number. And then I'm gonna put number here. So number can be, your phone number can be 10 digits, right? It's not more than 10 digits until unless you have a country code. So I'm just giving it as 10. So it will only accept 10 numbers, not beyond that. So I'm gonna go ahead and create this table now. Here there you have an option called this thing, the green arrow. You need to click on that to execute that query. Okay. So I'll select this thing and I will click on that. Yeah, it says table student is created. It took elapsed is like elapsed time, the time taken to execute the query, 0.086 seconds. This is a time taken to execute this query. So now I have used the DDL statement, right? So this is how you create a table. This is just a test table, this is example table, but in real life, like in real in companies, you will have like hundreds of columns in a table. Okay, here we just have 3 columns, but in the real production database, you will have like hundreds of columns in tables. You can have 10 columns, you can have 100 columns. The maximum, I think it's around 256 columns or something. That's the maximum number of columns you can use in a regular RDBMS table. So I'm not sure if that has changed now in the latest versions, but in like Oracle 12c or 13, it's more like 256 columns per table. So
And
now
whether
I'm
it is
gonna
case sensitive,
what?
it is case sensitive, or I mean small letters and all.
It is not case sensitive. You can yeah, it's not case sensitive.
Hi, sir.
Yeah.
I have a doubt. Is this a DDL or DML commented or is it included in script, sir?
Can you repeat your question?
As we mentioned, 1 and 3 lines DDL or DML is it included in script or is like commented in?
It's nothing is included. I wrote all this. I typed all these things now. So you need to put all your code in here in the worksheet. It's not predefined or it's not existing there already. We need to write each and every line and each and line of code. Is that what you're asking? I didn't
Yes,
get
sir.
your question.
Hello.
Yeah.
Actually, what he's asking is these 3 lines of code, like these 3 lines are there, like first 2 lines, DDL and DML are there, no? Just write it, no? He's asking that is these 2 lines, first 2 lines are also in the code, or just you
No,
just put
no.
it as per indication.
It's not part of the code. It's just
Yeah,
for
that's what he's
your
asking.
understanding and your visualization. So you can relate to what I'm writing here. So I just wrote it there. Okay. So this is just a syntax. It starts from here and it ends here. So this is the syntax of creating the table. So now I'm doing some inserts. Okay. Insert is basically DML.
Good
Create
morning.
is
Sorry to interrupt, sir. Sir, if varchar 2 is in dynamic memory allocation, then why we need to mention the sizes in the bracket, so we can just leave space in the bracket.
so if you want to restrict the input data, I want to restrict only these many characters into that column. I don't want more data. That's one of my requirement. So I put only 100. I don't want any more data. It should throw an error.
Then
So
we
that's
should
my
use
requirement.
like only varchar. Why need of using 2 there?
I told you, right? This is the dynamic. The memory handling is more efficient in varchar 2 than varchar.
Okay, thank you.
So here, this is a syntax for inserting data into the table. So yeah, this is how I write my insert statement. So there's another thing. Okay, I can just remove these things here. Okay, I'll do this. I'll put this here. I'll run this. Okay, it says one row has been inserted. So if you observe something here, okay. So this is my student ID. This is my phone number. So student name is Ravi. Student ID is A01, and phone number is something. I just gave some random 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if you observe here, I gave the student name in a single quotes, right? It's enclosed in single quotes, and even student ID, it's enclosed in single quotes. When it comes to phone number, it's not enclosed in single quote. It's just a regular number. I didn't give any quotes or anything. So why is the difference? Database will
Character value should be in single quotes.
correct. Yeah. So that's why I'm giving my character to just to database to identify it as a character. I'm giving this in a single quotes, right? So yeah, I'm going to create another record. I'm going to insert another record. So put here A02. Okay, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna run this. Okay, it says one row inserted. So if you observe, I've made some changes to my previous query and this query because I removed all these columns. Earlier I defined my columns here, but now I did not define columns here after the student. So Oracle will understand by default that first one is student name, second one is student ID, third one is phone number. So Oracle will automatically take it. Even though if you give it here, if you mention the columns here, doesn't make difference until unless the order of the columns changes. Um, if you are confident of the order of the input data, you don't need to be worried about uh, mentioning these column names here. So that's one thing. And yeah, now we'll see alter. Okay, this is create, is insert. Now we'll see alter. Alter table student add student address.
Hi, sir. This is Krishna here. I have one. Can you please show the table inside that output script? So display the tables. So everyone, I think we can clearly the structure also will display.
Yeah, I'll do that. Okay, so what I'm trying to do here is I'm going to, right now there are like three columns, right? Student name, student ID, phone number. Now I'm going to add another column here. I want to capture the student's address as well. So let me run that alter statement. Okay, it says table student has been altered, right? So earlier we had only three columns. Now we'll have four columns. I'll do a select star from student and I'll copy it and select it and I'll run it. Okay, so this is what it looks like, my output. Okay, so these are all my columns: student name, student ID, phone number, student address are my columns, whereas my rows, okay, these are my rows. So I just added student address, right? So it says null. That means there is no value that has been inserted into this column. These are all previously inserted records. So you can see all these
Sir, once
records
you
here.
please click on that like edit symbol on null. In the table. Yeah,
This will,
there.
this,
Yeah.
you can add data, basically you can see the value, what exactly it's there in that column.
Can you enter?
No, we
Uh,
cannot enter. You can just see what's the value in there.
okay, just to see.
Okay, so alter is basically, altering something, changing something. So that's about alter. Okay, the other thing is here, in order to make the changes saved into the database, I need to issue a commit for all DMLs. Okay, for all DMLs, commit is mandatory. For all DDLs are all auto commit. So yeah, so what is a commit like in general terminology? So commit is something like um, which are like, if you commit once, you will not going to change, right? It's a famous movie dialogue. So what does it mean, commit? So if you issue a commit, you're not going to take back that, or you're not going to change it, something like that. It's fixed, right? It's fixed. That's it. It is there and it is there. That's it. If you issue a commit, changes gonna be saved in the database. So DDLs, when I said DDLs are auto commit. That means if I issue the statement, database will auto save all the changes. Whereas if I do the insert, it will not get auto saved. Okay, you need to issue a commit statement in order the changes to be saved in your database. Just like if you open a Microsoft Word document or a Microsoft Excel or a CSV, you add some columns, you add some data into the rows and columns, and in order for that Excel sheet to be saved, you usually go to File, Save As, and you give some location and you click on OK, right? That's when your Excel sheet is going to be saved in your computer or wherever. The same way, in order the data to be saved in the database, if you are inserting some records or updating some records or deleting some records, you need it's mandatory that you issue a commit statement. Okay, this is how you write a commit, and semicolon, and then it's colon, and then you need to run that. It says commit complete. That means the changes are saved in your database. So what happens if you don't if issue a commit? So since that I'm still in the same session, if I do this insert again, and it's going to save there. But if I exit, if I log out from my current session and I try to log back in again, all the changes going to be unsaved, like whatever the uncommitted transactions are going to be I will be flushed out from the memory, and they will be not they won't be there anymore in the database, so you're going to lose all the data. So it's very important that you issue a commit statement after all your DML transactions. So what are DMLs? Insert, update, and delete. But coming to DDLs, these are all auto commits, right? So, and then coming to the drop, we'll see the drop at the end. And now,
Excuse me, sir.
yeah,
Can you alter the student values over there, like altering the student ID? Can you give the query for that?
okay, you want to change the student ID? Is that what you're asking?
Yes, yes, sir. I want to change the student ID of Sai to like say A05. Then
Okay, we'll change it. So that's what I'm going to say now. I'm talking about the update. So update is something, you want, if you want to change an existing record or existing value in the database, you are going to do that with the update statement. So update student set student name is equal to, you said A05, right? So let's change it to A05, where student name is equal to A02.
so that was student ID, not name.
Oh, sorry. Thank you. Yeah, student ID. And I'm going to run this. Okay, so it got changed. I think I did not change the
Underscore.
ID. So it
Underscore.
got, what's underscore?
Student underscore ID.
Yeah, it's already there, student underscore. So it basically
Okay,
it got
okay. I
updated.
can't see
So
it.
records got changed. Since this is a DML, I need to issue a commit statement. And the changes are not going to be saved. So I issue a commit after each and every transaction.
Excuse
So
me, sir.
yeah,
Is there any update button in the output window to update or modify information in the table without writing update query?
that's not a good habit. We should not do that way. We should always use a SQL statements to do that, because
Uh,
we can do it
I,
with the other tools, but that's not a good habit. That's not the way we do edit the data in the tables.
okay. Actually, or
It's,
in
Excuse me, sir.
Oracle policy, it has.
Hello, sir.
yeah, yeah, we can do it. It's not that we cannot do it, but that's not the right way of doing it.
Okay,
Okay.
brother. Like for updating, we should not do that. But like when we have more data, like thousand students, 1,000 IDs, like is there, like we have to insert all, like with this query, all the data with this query insert.
So if it is a real-time production database,
Okay.
usually the application teams will be writing something like stored procedures or some code program which will automatically load or update or do some kind of transaction. So you're not going to sit and write each and every insert or update or delete. So it's all programmed, it's all automated, and it's everything is done just like you have Java programs or any other program where it can do modifications to multiple records at a time.
Like
Similarly,
it is done
similarly,
automatically.
yeah, similarly in Oracle database, we have something like stored procedures where everything is programmed, where you write some loops, if else conditions, and you basically based on your requirement, you are going to write your code and do most of your bulk loads or bulk updates or whatever it is. You are not going to sit and write each and every insert statement, update statement in the real time.
Sir,
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, if the statement is too big, can we write it in 2 lines?
Yeah, we can write it.
Okay.
Just like this, you can write it
sir,
and
why need we to put set students, sir?
set you are setting value, right? You set and set means you are asking database to set this value. What
Why
value?
can't we add student ID?
No, we just can't do whatever we want. This is not our our own language, right? This is something like which is defined. This is a syntax. This is how we should write the query. I can't write my own instead of set. I can't write add or update or whatever. This is how it is defined, and we should follow that format, that standard, and that syntax. We just can't. We can't write our own thing. our own query.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. This is Z034.
Mm-hmm.
So I just have a doubt. So when we are assigning this the columns to the data table, you have assigned the data type of number to that phone number column. So why not an integer or a decimal or a double? Like why only the number?
So you can see each database has a different way of having these data types, right? Like I said yesterday, there are a lot of data types: Oracle, Microsoft SQL Server, SAP, Sybase, or IBM DB2. Or so some databases use numbers, some database use integers, some database use Oracle. I'm very much comfortable with number. I can use integer as well, I guess, int or integer or something, but I'm comfortable with number. If Oracle, the database supports that data type, you are very much free to use whatever data type as far as database supports that data type. So it's not mandatory that you should use only this or that. You just need to go and check in the Oracle website whether the database is the data type is supported or not, and then you are free to use.
Okay, so the data type may vary depending on the softwares.
Correct. Data types are different in different databases.
Oh, okay, thank you.
So this is with the update, and then we have something called delete. Okay, so we'll do some deletes. Delete from student where I'm going to delete one record. So before that, I want to check what are all records I have in my table. Z039 has raised a hand. So do you have any doubt, Z039? Okay. So I'm going to delete two records. I'm going to delete this A05 student ID. So delete from student where student underscore ID is equal to A05. So if I run this, it's going to delete two records from my table.
So you haven't mentioned commit.
Yeah, I will once after executing this query, I'll issue commit. Right? So now it says two rows deleted. Now I will do commit so that transaction is saved.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. This is Z109. I have once this. You have updated this ID A05 to A02, no, sir. Like A02 to A05. Like it should update in the same row, no, sir. Like.
No, I think I inserted three records initially with this name. So it got updated into the two rows where this ID matched, wherever
Yes,
this.
A02. Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
So now I'll go and check back what are all existing records in my table. It should show up only one. Yeah, it's only one record. So we have something here like in delete, the advantage of delete is you can either delete one record, you can delete all records, or you can delete some set of records. So here it is something like where. This is where you are putting where conditions. You are putting conditions on this delete statement. You are defining condition. What condition should, if this condition is satisfied, then only this will be executed. Okay. So let's say if there is no condition, I'll just blindly run this delete from student. Okay. Then I'll select this and I'll execute this, and it is going to wipe out all the data from my table. Since it doesn't have any conditions, it's going to delete all the records from my table. Earlier, I gave condition. I just asked database to only delete A05 records, not anything else. But here, from delete from student, I'm deleting everything. So there's that It's going to delete all the records. So now I'll go and select from my table. It should ideally show up 0 records because I've deleted, everything got deleted. So it says no items to display. That means all the records have been deleted. So now I'm going to insert again.
Actually, when we delete student ID, then only the student ID need to be deleted, no, sir. So total, the name, student ID, phone number, everything has been deleted, sir.
No, I said delete from student. Okay.
Yeah, sir.
Delete from student where student ID is equal to A05, which means whichever row contains A05, it's going to delete that whole row.
Okay. Okay, sir.
Yeah, that's how it works.
Hello, sir. Can we delete the column?
You can delete the column. Not delete, you can drop the column.
Okay.
Yeah.
So using delete statement, we can delete the column or only row?
Rows. We can delete rows.
Then how to delete one column? Like we have to delete a student name column. Then how to write a query?
Can you repeat your question?
If you deleted that student name column, then how to delete that column name?
I didn't get you. So you basically are saying
on the top, Ravi, I think the student is asking that in the table you inserted 4 columns on the top, right? So he don't want to have student name as a column. Yep.
Yeah, we can use that. I'll come to that. Okay, so yeah, so we have this alter, right? So we can drop that column, alter student drop student underscore name. So this will drop that column. Okay. Basically, I'm altering the table structure. So that's why it's a DDL. Alter is a DDL. I'm defining the table structure, doing some changes to the table structure. So I'll do alter table student drop student name. So it's gonna drop this column. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, you have deleted, you showed me both deleting a column and also deleting a record, that is a row. So what about deleting a separate cell? So if I wanted to delete a particular cells, for example, A02, I wanted to make it null. So what should I do for that?
You can do it with update. You can do it with update statement.
Okay, sir. Okay. Thank you.
Sir?
So, yeah.
Is it alter is only for columns?
Alter is for columns. Alter is for constraints. Alter is for indexes also. So you can alter table for adding columns, drop columns, modify data types, add indexes, add constraints, drop constraints, and everything. So, basically alter is a DDL, right? So you can do any table level structure changes with alter.
Can we use it for values, inserting values or anything?
No, how can you insert values with a DDL? If you see, yesterday I told you, right? DDL is something like you're defining something. DDL means data definition language. You are defining what data should be like. For example, if you are building a house, right? So building a house, you will define how the house should be like, how many floors it should be, what is the structure of the house, like living hall, bedroom, kitchen, and drawing room or whatever. You're defining the structure of the house. DML is more like what are the furniture you want to put in your house, like your bed, your sofa, your fridge, your TV. Those are more like data. But DDL are like more like a structure of the house, like stairs. It should have like a bedroom. This is the size of my bedroom, and this is my size of living room, and it should be this big and this small. So that's how DDL is like. Whereas DML, you can add sofa, you can remove the sofa from there, you can add bed. If you don't have bed, that's fine. So that's how it works. You cannot do alter for data.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Yeah.
Can
So
I add student address before the phone number?
student address before phone
Before the
number.
phone number. Yeah, student address is added by using alter.
Yeah, so since it's like how should I say? Yeah, there is a train, right? So train has already three these things like three what do you call compartments
Yes.
like S01, S02, S03 compartments. So if you are adding a different another bogie or another compartment to it, it will be after S03, right? You
Yeah.
cannot put that S04 in between S02 or S03 until unless you detach that S03, add that S04 behind S02, then add that S03 behind S04. That's how you can do it, but
Okay.
not in between S02, S03 until unless you detach it. So that's how it's same how it works here for this table.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
You want that, you should drop this column, add that column, again re-add this column. So that's how you need to do it if you want
Okay.
the order should be different. But order really does not matter in the table, whether it is first or last, or it really does not matter at all with respect to your select statements or queries or insert, update, deletes. So the order does not really matter wherever it is.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Sir, in insert info into, we gave student name, student ID, and phone number in sequential manner. But coming to the values, if we alter the student ID and phone number, will it throw an error or will it show
Yes.
show the values exactly how we have given them or assigned
Yes.
them?
Yes, good question. It will throw an error because see here I'm saying student name, it should be A02. It will accept because it's varchar. Student ID is 1234. Phone number it says Sai. So let me try to insert that. Okay, it says invalid number. Why? Because phone number we have defined it as number, right? But what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to insert a character here. So it does not accept that way. So we should
What happens if the ID is also of only if ID consists only of numbers?
yeah ID, yeah, you just change your data type then number. My ID is already number right here 1 2 3 4 5
Yeah.
6. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, thank you, sir.
Yeah. Okay, so coming back to our topic, the next thing we wanted to talk is drop, right? So drop, I'm going to do it at the end. I'm going to talk about
Excuse me, sir.
yeah.
By default, for every column in a table, it is giving a numbering, no, sir, 1, 2, 3 by serially. Can we able to change that numbering?
No, it's something called as row number. It is already assigned by Oracle. You cannot change that.
Okay, sir. And one more one. Can we able to change? No, not the change, but can we able to swap the two columns?
Just now I told you, right? You cannot do that until unless you drop and move that columns or the order you want to do it.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah. So don't just keep your questions with you. We will take the questions at the end because this is disturbing the class and I'm not able to proceed further because these doubts are like never ending. I don't want to, we need to move forward with our topic. So keep your doubts at the end of the session and I'll try to address your questions. Okay. So moving forward, like I'm going to do truncate on the table. So earlier I have talked about delete, right? So delete is a DML, but truncate is a DDL. So what exactly this truncate means? Truncate is basically you're cutting something out, right? So I have one record here. Okay, I'm going to insert another record. So now I have two records in my table, and I'm gonna select it and run the query, and I can see two records here, Sai and Sai1, and then I'm going to do a truncate. So in truncate, we cannot add where condition. So we cannot do this, okay? Truncate, you cannot do this. But for delete, you can put where condition. But for truncate, you cannot do this. So when you do the truncate, it's gonna wipe out all the data. You don't have the control on how much data you want to take it out. So truncate is like a DDL, it is an auto commit, and it's going to truncate all the records in your table. You don't have any control. So this is an interview question. So in interview, they're going to ask what is the difference between delete and truncate. So delete is you have the control whether you want to delete is first a DML. Truncate is a DDL, which means DMLs are need a commit. DDLs doesn't need a commit. And the next thing is delete can delete set of records or all the records, whereas truncate is going to truncate all the records. You don't have control to truncate few set of records in the table. So this is definitely an interview question on what is the difference between delete and truncate. So I hope you all understood the difference. And you don't need to issue a commit because truncate is a DDL. And I'm gonna run the select again. And now I'll talk about drop. So yeah, so they're going to ask you difference between delete, truncate, and drop. So we already discussed delete and truncate, right? So now it's going to be drop. So now it's going to be drop. So drop table name student. Okay. So drop. I'll run this. So now let me go back to the table, and doesn't have any records. So I'm going to insert some records to the table. I'm going to issue a commit. And I'll select the data. So I have one record here. I have all these columns. So now I'm going to do a drop table. Okay. So when I do the drop, so it says table student dropped, and I don't need to issue a commit because it's DDL and it's gone, and it's auto committed. So now I'll try to issue a select statement again. It says table or view does not exist. So what does it mean? That means table has been shift deleted from the database. That means it's permanently deleted. It is not available anymore. So you're dropping something. You have cleared that information from the database. So that is not there. The table is not there anymore. But before, when you do delete from student or delete from student where, so always the table structure was not unaffected. Table structure was unaffected. At the same time, truncate, when we did the truncate, the table structure was unaffected. But when we did the drop, the table structure got affected. That means table has been permanently deleted. So that's the difference between delete, truncate, and drop. So if again I want the table back, I need to go and create the table again in order to have that table in my database. Since these are all auto commits, I don't need to issue a commit statement. All the DDLs doesn't need to be have any commit after that query.
So, but
So
between drop and truncate, so both the tables will be deleted at the same time, no, sir. Difference between drop and truncate, I didn't get, sir.
truncate, it only truncates the data, but not the table structure. Drop will delete the table itself. The structure itself is deleted. I mean, not drop, the structure itself, it's dropped.
Okay, sir.
Truncate will only truncate the data, all the columns. Like let's say there is a building, and if you want to run a drop statement on that building. So what happens? You run a drop statement on a building, that whole building will be wiped out. It will be cleared. It will be demolished. If you run a truncate on a building, that means only the furniture inside the building will be removed. Even the delete is more like you can only delete sofa, you can delete refrigerator, you can delete TV, you can pick and choose what you want to delete. But truncate, it will delete all the furniture from the house. Again, coming to the drop, the whole building is demolished, the whole building is cleared from there. There is no building there anymore. It's all a clear, plain land. So that's how these three things works. Delete, truncate, and drop. So these three are very important. This is an interview question. It's definitely going to ask if you are attending any Oracle or a SQL interview. You need to remember this.
Sir, after
Ravi,
truncate, can we insert values?
Yeah, you
excuse me,
can do
guys.
it.
Ravi, just a time check. I mean, we are over 2 minutes of our schedule. Take your time. I mean, if you're convenient, please do let us know the extended time.
Yeah, I think I'm pretty much done with this DDLs and DMLs. Okay, I'll give you like quick 5 minutes for any questions. Maybe you can just send me the questions in the chat.
I mean, we are okay if you have like 5 to 10 minutes for Q&As. We'll be fine with that.
Yeah, you guys can send me quick chat. So you're asking me to clarify about truncate, drop, and delete. Okay, so yeah, what other example I can give? I try to give an easy example, but
I think it
yeah,
is better to give some Excel sheet and all, no? Some values can be deleted in truncate, and the whole Excel rows and columns can be deleted by using this drop, I think.
yeah. So yeah, that's one thing. Like if there's an Excel sheet, you delete some rows from that Excel sheet. That you can do it with delete. Truncate is deleting all the rows, all the columns from the Excel sheet. Drop is like totally shift deleting that Excel sheet. So that's how it works. You delete a video file, audio file, shift delete a video file, audio file from your computer. That goes to recycle bin, right? If you go and shift delete from the recycle bin, gone from there as well. But if there is a folder, there are like 100 files in it. Maybe you are deleting only 2 or 3 video files in that. You'll have another 97 video files in that you can achieve with delete statement. But if you want to delete all the 100 files at one shot, you will do that with truncate statement. But if you want to delete the whole folder itself, then you will use drop statement. That's nothing but shift delete. Next question is, may I use SQL Server 2014 for making database? Yeah, you can use any database you want to install on your laptop. Most of all these Microsoft SQL Server, MySQL, Oracle, or these are DBMS softwares. But only thing is the syntax will vary from database to database, and the data types varies, and some of the database architecture will vary. The way data is architected within the database, like data files and all, so all those things vary. So yeah, if you are comfortable with SQL Server, definitely you can install and practice that. But these same syntax will not work on SQL Server or any other RDBMS software. You need to check the syntax on their websites and you need to run those syntax.
Sir, how rollback is used, sir?
Rollback is something, let's say you did this statement, you ran this statement and you did not issue commit yet. Okay. And then you do a rollback. So let's say you deleted this record from the student table and then you realize that, oh, I did a mistake. I should not have done the delete statement. So, and luckily you did not issue a commit yet, right? So then Oracle gives you a last chance to, roll back those changes. Just like undo, you do
Okay,
something.
okay. But if we give commit, then if we use rollback also, we cannot get that statement back, sir.
Yeah, you cannot get back.
So how
So can we rename a table using alter?
Alter table rename. I think we can do it. Alter table rename. Not sure. I should check the syntax. I think we can try that. Alter table student name to. You don't really need to remember all these syntaxes. You can always find those in Google. Even in like in companies, we don't remember all these syntaxes. We try to go to Google and fetch that query or whatever. You should know what you want to search. So now I don't remember that syntax. So now I'll go to Google, rename table in Oracle. So I type this and I'll go to results and I'll try to fetch the query from Google and I'll try to copy that and modify my. So this is a syntax. I'll come back to my cloud SQL developer and I'll put that here. Modify my query and I'll execute it. So even you can get most of the things in Google, even like big programs, you can get the logic from Google. So you don't need to worry much about in your real job how you want to do that. But you should know what you need to find from Google and how you want to modify it from that wherever you found it in the Google, and you need to know, be smart enough to modify as per your requirements.
Sir, how grant and revoke are used, sir?
We'll discuss for now. If you have any questions on these, you can ask me future topics. I will definitely will go over those topics in the upcoming session.
Hi Ravi, I have one doubt.
Yeah.
Can you scroll somewhat up? We have created a table, no? This big.
Okay.
Yeah, for this create command, the indentation is different, right? They are not in a particular alignment. Create table, student name, student ID, and phone number.
Oh, it doesn't matter. It doesn't. It can be here. It can be in one line. It can be in different line. It doesn't matter.
Not that. I mean to say that if we see below insert into student values commit are in a left alignment, right?
Left alignment in the sense.
They're talking about in the table the value is assigned leftmost.
Yes,
That's the
yes.
default behavior.
Is that mandatory or we can give it as we need?
I didn't get the question. Can you please repeat it?
First, we have created a table, right?
Yeah.
And we have given the student name just somewhat right side below the create table student. It is not exactly the create table, below the create table. If we see insert below we have insert into student. They are in a leftmost, right? One below the other.
Mm-hmm.
values commit are in the same line.
Okay. No, it
I'm
does
talking.
not. It does not really matter which line it is. I can put 3 lines. I can put 4 lines. I can put in whatever lines. I can put each statement in one single line. So it does not really matter. It still works. Is
I'm
that what
talking
you?
about indentation, not the lines. Indentation.
Okay, Ravi, I think I got her question. So my
Mm-hmm.
answer would be it's a default behavior of the programming unless you give any special command to make it align in the center or the rightmost.
Yeah.
It will defaultly save into the left
Oh, the
side.
line, the way it's starting on my SQL worksheet. Is that what she's
Yes.
asking?
Yes. Yes.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, by default, like based on your cursor, it goes there, but you can put your cursor somewhere and you can write your query.
Okay. Thank you.
Sir, could you please explain about save points? Sir?
Yeah, I'll talk about those topics in the upcoming sessions, but ask me questions in the topics which
Yesterday,
we have discussed.
yesterday class I have one doubt, sir. What is physical data independence, sir? I couldn't get that.
Physical data independence. Like I told you, right? Data, all the transactions should be independent. Um, like I gave you an example of IRCTC. The like thousands of threads will be running parallelly, like thousands of people trying to book like only few set of tickets that are available on IRCTC in a train. So it does not it does not overlap. Like one session does not overlap with other session, right? Each session is independent of each other, and it goes and tries to hit the server independently. So all the first come first serve, like first 200, let's say there are only 200 tickets in the train. So it only accepts that those 200 tickets, and rest all 800 tickets going to throw out an error. So each transaction is very independent of each other and there is no overlap of each transaction. So it's not like all thousand transactions are accepted by IRCTC. It's going to validate through all the validations whether the ticket is available or not. The ticket is available, it's going to accept that reservation. If not, it's going to throw out the error. So each transaction acts as an independent thread, and it will be the database will be processing independently.
Sir, how logical data independence then?
Logical database independence is more within the database, how the data is handled in the memory and how the data is fetched from the database files and how the data is managed in the redo log files. It's more like a administration concept. If you are interested in database administration, you can definitely, you will understand those like redo logs, buffers and database files and all those things. But it's a very deep topic. Until unless you are doing a database administration course, you will then have, you can get more idea on that. But it's, you need to understand the whole database architecture to understand the redo log buffers and redo log files and how the data is handled within the database.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Excuse me,
Sir,
sir.
if you
Can we use PostgreSQL instead of Oracle? Because the syntax and everything is similar to Oracle.
Yeah, I don't have any problem if you use any database. I'm okay with any database as far as you are comfortable, you are confident to run all the queries. If you know that, you're very much free to run any database.
Yes, sir. I'm somewhat familiar with PostgreSQL, so I am asking for that.
Sure. But again, see, the reason I'm teaching you guys Oracle is because Oracle is a leader in the market, which means most of the big companies use Oracle in their companies. Of course, now slowly the trend is changing, but as of till today, most of the critical applications are still hosted on Oracle. So if you write in your resume that you have worked on Oracle or you are trained in Oracle, your resume will have more weightage when you write some SQL Server or other database. So that's the whole point in me teaching you guys about Oracle, because it has a very good value. Most of the big companies and big critical applications are hosted on Oracle.
I have one doubt regarding insert. If we are inserting more than 2-3 values, if we write one commit, is it enough for all these 3 statements, or we need to have insert at every insert statement? Or
Yeah, good question. Not required. We can put like 100 insert statements or 1000 insert statements and put only one commit. It still works fine. So there is no limitation that you want to put commit after every insert statement. You can put only one commit statement after 1000 or 10,000 or 1 million insert statements. So it's up to you.
okay, it should be bottom of the all statements.
Correct.
One more question. Like first you have entered A01 data.
Mm-hmm.
At that time, you are explaining about only insert, so you didn't write about commit. So if I close the this thing, afterwards you have entered the second values in that same statement only. And you have explained about commit. So after some time, if I close and if I open, only one row I can see, right?
Okay, so let's say I inserted a record. Okay, I inserted one record. I did not issue a commit. I closed down my session and I relogged back in. So when I relog in, there will be no records in my table because I did not issue any commit. So second time, after I relog in, I insert another record. This time I issued a commit. So technically, there will be only one record in the database because in the new session, you have inserted one new record, and then you issued a commit. But in the previous session, you did not issue any commit, so that record is gone. It's not saved in the database. So ideally, you will have only one record in your database.
Okay, just one clarification again. First, we have entered the row 1 data, and we did not commit it, and afterwards I have edited same for inserting second row. I have used the same statement. After that, I have used the commit. When I get back, I'm close the window, and when I get back, I will see the only second row data, right?
Correct. That's right.
Yeah, thank you.
So why can't we use save tab instead of commit?
What did you say?
Beside the worksheet, we have save tab, like above. Beside the run one.
Oh, this one?
Beside the run. Yeah, left side, sir. Yeah.
This is to save your code. This is to save your code. You want to save this worksheet.
Okay. Okay.
Sir, how the lob data types are used, sir? Yesterday we have discussed about lob data types. So how that are used?
I think I told you, right? Lobs is mostly used for large object data types like video files or some kind of audio files. Like you have Facebook, right? Facebook, you upload some videos, you upload some audio files, or you upload some kind of big, large files. So those all files are stored in these large object data types.
Okay, sir.
It
So
can
most
hold
probably
up to 4 gigabytes.
all the companies will be using lobs only, sir. They will be using large amount of data. Then they will be using lobs, or then you will be using varchar. Which data type they will be using?
Yeah, I told you, right? It totally depends on the data, what kind of data you're inserting. If it is a video file or something like that, then they're going to put a lob data type or blob or globs. If it is a regular alphabet character data, then they use a varchar. If it is a date, something like date timestamp, they use date data type. If it is a number, phone number, they use number. So it all depends on what kind of data you want to input into your database.
Okay. Thank you.
So I think we have pretty much done with the questions. And yeah, if you still have any questions, we can do it. Maybe you can we can do it later. But for today, I think we are good with the topics. I want you all to practice this. Tomorrow I may ask some questions, or and I want you all to have this created, that the Oracle this if at all is possible, you can go ahead and create this Oracle Cloud.
Sir,
Yeah.
sir, any other Oracle sites for SQL worksheets, sir? Because I don't have my credit card with me.
Okay, there is W3 Schools, w3schools.com, where you can run your select, you can practice your w3schools.com or something. And there are a lot of other websites, like where you don't need to input your credit card, or you can just have, there are a lot of other websites on Google. But if that, the reason I'm asking you guys to have this cloud is because you can create your own database, you can create your own everything like environment, and you can run your queries, because W3 schools, it will only it has a lot of limitations. You can run only basic things in that.
Yes.
And also the reason I'm teaching you this cloud is, you can tomorrow you can write in your resume that you have worked on Oracle Cloud. So the interviewer will be really impressed, because these are all new technologies, most recently released technologies in the market, like last 6 months to 1 year. So the interviewer will most likely get impressed with your resume or your skill set. So that's the whole point of doing all this. If you don't have a credit card, or you ask your friends or ask your colleagues or whatever, try to do this. This is all for your good. There will be a lot of challenges, like you don't have credit card, you don't have this, you don't have that, you don't have laptop. But ultimately, at the end of the day, what you really want to do, whether you want to learn or you don't want to learn it. So yeah, you need to figure
Sir,
out those things, and
sir,
do things best possible way. Yeah.
sorry, sir, but one last doubt. Sir, is there any undo option like rollback for
No,
create and alter, sir?
undo option.
I mean, rollback is there for the delete and all, no, sir.
Uh-huh.
So we don't have any I mean, undo options for if we do delete and not delete, drop, and unfortunately we want to get back that one. So can we do rollback for that one, sir, for DDL?
No, for DDL you cannot do. What you can do is, GPS will have backups. You need to contact, if you are a developer, you need to contact a DBA and ask him to restore that from the backups. If not, yeah, it's all gone. But if you drop it, you cannot do rollback. It's all gone.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Hello, sir. Can we use SQL Server Management Studio?
Told you, right? You can use any database. There is no, it's not that you want to do that, this. You can use anything, any Oracle RDBM, any RDBMS software. I don't have a problem. The only reason I'm trying to teach you guys in this is because this is the latest technology. And if you write these things in your resume, it will add more value. You can do it, there's no harm. You can do it in SQL Server, you can do it in IBM DB2, you can do it in Sybase or MySQL. There are like many tens of databases. It's up to you. If you're comfortable, if you're confident, you can do it. There's no harm in that. And yeah.
Sir,
Yeah, please go ahead.
can we use null in
Okay.
a insert statement while inserting values into the table?
So null is usually used in, yeah, we can do it, but
For
usually I can, okay, let me show it in one of the tables. So we usually use null as the default value. Like I'm creating a table here, sample table, here, employee. employee phone number. Here I'll mention it as default null. Employee table is created and I'll do insert employee use and create So basically, we use default as null for these things because sometimes application will not return any values. So in order to make sure that insert statement is not failed when this value is not fetched, it will consider default as null value. Does not it will accept that statement, insert statement, even though there is no value in this. It will by default insert as null value. So that's what we use this null for some of the columns.
Thank you, sir.
So I think, yeah, pretty much we are good for today. I want you all to, either have a SQL Server or either have Oracle Cloud or whatever. We want you to create that database within your machine, whether it's a cloud or on-premises or anything. You can, Google, see YouTube videos on how, if you're doing some other database, you can do that installation on your machine. But if you're using Oracle Cloud, you need to do the way that I've showed it to you. But whatever it is, I want you all to have that installed in your machine or have this sign up on this cloud by end of day. So because I'm going to give you assignments from tomorrow. So whatever it is, I want you all to have those things in place. I'm not concerned whether it's Oracle or SQL Server or whatever. All I want is there should be a database in all your laptops and computers because you guys need to do assignments. I'm going to give you assignments on the topics, but for today, your assignment is to have the uh, software or this cloud have signed up or any other database software installed on your machine. So that's for your assignment for today. I'm going to ask you about it, status about that by tomorrow. So yeah, I need that to be installed by tomorrow. So that's a requirement. Uh, um,
Hello.
yeah.
Yeah, hi, sir. So I have one doubt regarding alter command. Okay, while alter command using for appending the values, right?
No, I told you, right? I already clearly told you that we cannot use alter for data. Alter is only for structure.
Okay. So actually, while using alter table without giving any data, it can taken as null, right?
Can you please repeat the question?
So by using alter table student add, for example, while using alter table student add command,
Mm-hmm.
okay, at the time of output, it taken as null without giving default null. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's command. Yeah,
Correct.
then why you inserting command? Why you using default null in insert command? Without taking default null, it can taken as null, right?
So the reason I added null here is like I told you, right? If application is trying to insert, if the application did not get this number, this value here for this column, the insert is not going to fail, even though if it does not have any data for this number. Coming to
Yeah.
the alter table statement here, since already this other records are already created and I added a new column here. So since I added a new column, there are other records here, but this column I did not insert any new values into that. So by default, Oracle will make as null because it is a new column. It does not have any data. But when I insert any new data, it's going to be updated with this, with the new data, which I'm going to insert or update or delete or whatever it is in any DML activity. So that's going to get updated after I run some MLs on that new column.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So if you guys have any doubts, I'm going to share you this document which has all that definitions and syntaxes. So you guys need to install your databases or sign up on the cloud or whatever and run all these, go through all the definitions and the syntaxes. And mostly your questions should be answered looking at the document. So I'm going to share this document to all the mentors now, and you can get this collected from them, or else I think I can attach it here probably. Yeah, I think I'll attach it here on the chat, so you can all download it from the from the Zoom itself. So yeah, did you guys get it on the chat? Okay, let me do it for everyone. Let me reshare it. Okay, that's fine. I'll share it with the mentors, and mentors will be sharing it with you all. And then I think we are good for today. So yeah, remember, like, you need to complete those assignments. And one more thing, I'm gonna copy all these commands and put it in the chat, so you all can. You don't need to run all of them. You can just copy, and while practicing, you can copy these commands. So yeah, thank you. Thanks for today. Now I think we will go ahead and create these breakout rooms, and we will assign you to the mentors. Okay. So yeah, I think Shailendra, Anna, can you start creating these breakout rooms and assign students?
Yeah, it's all done. I'm just opening the rooms. All the students, you'll be getting a pop-up on the window on the screen to join the room. Please join.
Thank you. Thanks, Shailendra.